Hello, Kinders. We're back for another night of bedtime stories. Our first story is called The Wriggly Wiggly Caterpillars. 10 Wriggly Wiggly Caterpillars. This book is illustrated by Debbie Tarbett. 10 crunching caterpillars in the bright sunshine. One fell asleep, so that left 9. 9 speedy caterpillars thought they might be late. One was too slow, so that left 8. 8 munching caterpillars, all in crunching heaven. One got a tummy ache, so that left 7. 7 clever caterpillars creeping through some sticks. One got stuck, so that left 6. 6 singing caterpillars, glad to be alive. One stayed to sing, so that left 5. 5 brave caterpillars going to explore. One got lost, and that left 4. 4 daring caterpillars inching up a tree. One fell off, so that left 3. 3 cool caterpillars splashing in the dew. One got soaked, so that left 2. 2 happy caterpillars having so much fun. One got tired, so that left 1. 1 sad caterpillar, all on his own, when all of a sudden there were 10 bright and colorful pretty butterflies spreading their wings and flitting through the skies. Look at those beautiful butterflies that came from the caterpillars. And that is the end of 10 wriggly, wiggly caterpillars. The next book we have is by Pamela Duncan Edwards and Darcia Labrosse, and it's called The Grumpy Morning. Uh-oh, I think we're gonna hear some grumpiness. Sometimes we have grumpy mornings at our house, but only sometimes. Title page, The Grumpy Morning. I heard a cow begin to moo. I need to be milked, I really do. She mooed at the dog, who began to bark. It's time for breakfast. It's no longer dark. I heard a goat begin to bleat. Where is my oats? And she stamped her feet. She stamped at the hog, who began to squeal. I'm waiting for slop. I'm due for a meal. I heard a rabbit begin to thump. I want my pellets. I'll never grow plump. He thumped at the horse, who began to neigh. I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry for hay. I heard a duck begin to quack. What What's going on? I must have my snack. She quacked at the cat, who began to meow. I'd like a cuddle, and I'd like it now. I heard a hen begin to cluck. My grain is late, that's just my luck. Neigh, moo, woof, quack, oink, meow, thump, thump, cluck, neigh. Ooh, they all want to be fed, that poor farmer. He has lots of work to do. They are all so hungry. I saw a moth land on my nose of the sleepy, on the nose of the sleepy farmer still in a doze. She opened an eye and said with a cry, Is that the time? Oh my, oh my. Good morning, cow. Good morning, dog. Good morning, goat. Good morning, hog. Oh, she's saying good morning to all her animals. Good morning, rabbit. Good morning, horse. Good morning, duck and cow and owl, of course. Such a happy morning, isn't it, hen? Then she fed them and milked them. And loved us all 10. May I sleep now? Says the owl. And that is the end of the grumpy morning. Who was not grumpy in that story? That's right, it was the farmer. She was not grumpy, but all the animals were grumpy because they were hungry. They wanted their breakfast. And that poor owl just wanted to go to sleep, didn't he? Our last book tonight is called Curious George and the Puppies. Curious George and the Puppies. This book is by Margaret and H.A. Rays. This is George. George was a good little monkey, and he always was very curious. One day, George went for a walk with his friend, the man with the yellow hat. When they sat down to rest, they noticed a tiny kitten peeking out from under a bush. The kitten looked frightened. "Perhaps she is lost," said the man with the yellow hat. Together he and George searched the park for the little kitten's owner, but the kitten was all alone. "This kitten is too young to be on her own," the man said. "We should take her to the animal shelter, where they can care for her and find her a home." So George and the kitten and the man with the yellow hat drove to the animal shelter. There's the sign that says Animal Shelter. The director of the shelter was glad to see the kitten. "It was good of you to bring that kitten here," she said. "We will be happy to take care of her." George gave the kitten to the director, and then he and the man with the yellow hat walked inside. "Come in," the director said, "but watch where you step. We have a large litter of puppies, and one has gotten out of his cage. We're still looking for him, so please be careful." She closed the door and quickly behind them. George had never been to an animal shelter before. Animals of all kinds were being cared for here. George saw bunnies, cats, turtles, and guinea pigs. He even saw a snake. But he didn't see any puppies. "George, I need to sign some papers," said the man with the yellow hat. "Please stay here and don't be too curious." Uh-oh. Just as the man with the yellow hat left the room, George heard barking. Maybe it was the puppies, but where was it coming from? George was curious. He followed the barking noise. Let's see what it is. What are you predicting? And found a room full of dogs. There were yellow dogs, spotted dogs, sleek dogs, and fluffy dogs. There were quiet dogs and yappy dogs, and even a dog without a tail. But where were the puppies? Then George saw a little wagging tail, and then another, and another. Once George saw the puppies, he could not take his eyes off them. He had to pet one. Here was a puppy. The puppy liked George. George wanted to hold the puppy, and slowly he opened the door. Uh-oh. But before George could even reach the puppy, the mother dog pushed the door open and was off like a shot. George tried to close the door after her, but the puppies were too fast. There was nothing George could do. There they go. They're all going out the door. Uh-oh. I don't think that's what George had in mind. Puppies were everywhere. Puppies hid under the desk. Puppies barked at bunnies. One puppy played with a telephone cord, and another climbed on top of a cage to watch the others get into mischief. That means trouble. Soon all the dogs were barking, the cats were meowing, and the bunnies rustled into the corners of their cages. Oh boy. "Oh no," cried the director as she and the man with the yellow hat rushed into the room. "Now all the puppies are out." The man with the yellow hat helped the director gather up the puppies and put them safely back in their cage. Soon all the animals settled down and were quiet. Except for one, who was still barking. It was the mother dog. What was she barking at? There was nothing here but a door. There must be something on the other side, thought George. He opened the door. What are you predicting? What do you think's gonna happen? It was the missing puppy. Everyone was happy to find the puppy. The director scooped him up and said, "George, you certainly caused a ruckus. But if you hadn't let the puppies out, we might still be searching for this little one." Then she gave the puppies and their mother a snack. "These puppies are now big enough to go live with families who will take care of them," she said. "Do you want to take one home with you, George?" George did. Look at his puppy. So George saved the day, even if he did cause some trouble, didn't he? I hope you have a wonderful night, Kinders. I hope that you are nice and safe and healthy in your beds. Give your families hugs for me, and I will talk to you soon. Good night.